Mike here from Las Vegas. My grandbabies call me Big Papa. You can call me Big Papa. You can call me Mike. You can call me anything that you want. I don't really care. Um, it's morning. I got bad hair because I haven't showered yet. I haven't shaved. I haven't even worked out yet. And yet my heart is full of this message. And I've just got to get it out. I was thinking yesterday, and it kind of hit me yesterday, and I've been dwelling on this for almost 24 hours. That there are probably some of you starting this new year not doing so good. Maybe you've lost hope. Maybe you're kind of beating yourself up. Maybe you feel you're scared or lonely. You see, in my inward mindset, thinking that life evolves around Michael, um, and I'm looking at the new year as, man, I'm full of energy. I am excited about this new year, the new beginnings, new hope. And yet there are some of you probably that don't feel that way. Maybe some of you are going through and beating yourself up about, I'm not worth anything. um, I made some bad mistakes. Why, God, why have you forsaken me? You might feel like you're navigating life alone, that there's no one there to put their arm around you to help you, that you don't even have a map of knowing where you're going. You might feel like you're against the world, or the world is against you. in in my worst days, I used to feel exactly the same way, and I mean, I lived that way for years. I don't know how I functioned, actually, because I beat myself up. I if it had to be, it was up to me. I was a control freak. I was highly insecure. All of those things, and I got tired of punching myself all the time, and so I just started studying that a little bit. And I realized that the power of me to get out of that was in the questions I asked myself. And I want to ask you some questions, because there's nothing that I can say, do, uh, that's going to motivate you, that's going to inspire you. Only you can do that through some questions. And whether you answer the questions I pose to you or you create your own questions, the answers that you find, where you can connect the dots from your head to your heart and start getting the emotional, that's where true change will come into play. um, and so here's the questions. If you make a mistake, does that mean you're a mistake? Do you know of any person who never makes mistakes? You see, mistakes are just mistakes. I'm here to tell you, even people that you might think, oh, that person never makes mistakes, if you interviewed them, you'd find they made a ton of mistakes, especially entrepreneurs who own businesses. They probably made more mistakes than the guy that never exercised faith in trying to do something on his own. Mistakes are just mistakes. They're just mistakes, and you're going to make them. Uh, and and so here's the next question. As I kind of develop these questions that you can ask yourself, what's your hope, if any, attached to? Is it a wish, luck? If you had what I refer to as perfect hope, I mean the kind of hope that's real, could you ever really get down on yourself? Ever? If you had this out of body experience where you just went out of your body and you kind of hovered, right here over your head, and this hovering out of body experience, this being, this person up here was a hope expert, what would you go teach yourself? What would be inside of your ear? What kind of unconditional love would you give the person that's inside of you? You see, I believe that hope is eternal. Hope is the thing that drives us. And when we move away from hope, when we start beating ourselves up, when we think it's me against the world and the world hates me, I'm no good, I keep making mistake after mistake after mistake, you lose hope. And then there again, you're into that what I call the shame cycle, and you could spiral down. This is how people spiral fast. Another question, do you believe God is perfect? Whatever your definition of God is, this higher power, is that being perfect? Most people believe that they were created by that being. I mean, I do. Could God create an imperfect being? I mean, when I asked that question of myself years ago, I'm thinking, oh gosh, I have so many imperfections. I hide things. I don't want people to know about certain things. So I didn't understand that God created me perfect, as he did every human being on the face of this planet perfect. Perfect in that you are enough. And perfect that I'm enough. Perfect that I am perfect with imperfect gifts. I look at my imperfections of gifts. And so moving along, another question. Do you believe every person has imperfections? If you're a parent, I hope these next few questions really resonate with you. So if you're a parent and you're in this cycle where you don't feel good about stuff, where you've lost some hope, it's the new year. If your child needed help or was in danger, what would you do? Would you turn your back from him? If you had come to their rescue, wouldn't it make sense that God, your eternal Father, would come to your rescue? If your child turned from you and didn't seek your help, what would you do? Would you just force yourself on them? No, I'm dragging you, kid. You're going to do here, sit. I'm going to, you're not getting out of line. I'm going to protect you. Or would you quietly protect that child in the hope that they became humble and recognized that you were there to help them? Do you see? That's exactly how Father is looking at us. That's what hope comes from. That's what hope will give you. I love hope. It's like one of my favorite beliefs, ways to view life is through hope, the hope paradigm. You call it whatever you want. But it allows me to know that I'm enough. I mean, I am nothing compared to God, but that's okay because God is everything. I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to go and please people, and I don't need to make everything happen on my own. I just need to believe in myself. I just need to believe that all of my imperfections are actually gifts. You see, this is the reliance on this higher power. I recognize that God unconditionally loves me. There is nothing that I could do that would turn his love away from me. There's no mistake big enough. I mean, I could be an addict. I could murder someone. I could kill somebody. I could do the worst things, the worst mistakes, and he will never turn from me. that just gives me a great deal of comfort in knowing that. And that's where hope comes into play. That's where hope allows me to unconditionally love myself. So whatever your trial is, now or the ones you're going to have, because you're going to have more trials. I am too. We all are going to have them. You are enough with hope. Your mistakes, regardless of how big they may be, they don't define you. Your hope defines you. Your imperfections, being perfect in them, define you. It's like, give it up. There's a thing that in the Alcoholics Anonymous, the 12-step program, they say, let go, let God. And what they're really saying is just, you got to have hope. Grab a hold of it. Expect good things to happen. I was chatting with a friend of mine last night, an old friend. We hadn't seen each other for years, and we've run into each other. And he was telling me, we were talking about hope because it was on my mind, and we got into this discussion. And he said, Mike, for years, I used to, as I'd walk, I'd see a penny on the ground. And if it was heads up, man, he'd believe things were good going to happen to him. He'd put that penny in his pocket, walk along. And if he saw a penny with the heads down, oh man, like something's bad going to happen to me. Put that penny in his pocket, and he would do that. You see, he was basing his whole life on an expectation. And you see, I've learned that expectation, it's my enemy. You see, because everything, every action, every outcome in life is perfect. They were supposed to be, and they were perfect for me. And I have joy in understanding that. Will I suffer? Yes. Sometimes life makes the penny down. And so in my friend's case, if you think about it, that penny only has two sides. So 50% of the time it would be up, 50% of the time it would be down. And so he was either going to have a good day or a bad day. I mean, it was based on what, a penny? Where you can realize that when the penny is down, man, something's good's going to happen. See, that's what hope is. That's what pure, unadulterated hope is. It's where you expect good things are going to happen to you. And you may not understand how they're going to happen to you. You may not even understand when they're going to happen to you, but you turn your focus to hope, and you let it define you. You learn from the past. You learn from the mistakes. That's all we have them for, is to learn. We have a mistake to learn hope better. Give yourself a big, fat self-love hug today, unconditionally. Go into the new year, go into every day, the rest of your life, being hopeful. Expect good things are going to happen to you. I know that they're going to happen to me, and I know they're going to happen to you. Have a great one. Bye.